Hey guys, Luke here, welcome back to episode 9 of my Swansea City FIFA 16 career mode. Now last episode you saw at the end, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it, but you saw us open up the transfer window. Well, we didn't open it, but it had passed over, so we're into January. So we're going to open up this episode, just going and taking a look at who we're putting on the transfer list. So we put Jack Cork on. That might be a bit of a surprise to you because it's not something we talked about. Last episode we did talk about the centre back Barrel, whatever his name was. And hopefully don't have to stick with him for much longer because I'm not a fan of him, to be honest, and we're looking to sell him on. But Jack Cork, someone who I didn't mention, did have offers for him earlier in the first transfer window, 5 million or so, and he hasn't gone up by any more. He hasn't regressed in value or anything. So I was looking to go ahead and try and get him for a decent price, but I will say, we'll find out later on that I start having second thoughts. But Britain is another one who's transfer listed, and he's actually playing this game. It's like a fully rotated squad, even up to the goalkeeper in that. But Routledge, someone who doesn't get too much game time, was often on the receiving end of a ball of Eder, who doesn't get any game time at all, which is a little bit, I don't know, maybe a little bit disappointing to some because, I mean, he's a solid player. He's usually a pretty good FIFA player, so maybe it was someone who I should have decided to use more often. He's got the height, he's got the speed, but we just got Gabriel, got Correa, and we got Gomez. So I don't know. Eder might have been a good backup for Gomez, but right now just not there. But I don't know who it was who cut the inside. Maybe it was Zuccolini who had his shot blocked. But the ball did fall back to AU, who is someone who I'm not really sure on what is his best role. I mean, he is a left mid, but he hasn't got blistering pace or anything. He's not slow by any means, but maybe slow for the style of football that I want from the wingers. I want fast players who can dribble pretty well, and he doesn't particularly do any of them. But Carlos Eduardo here, he hasn't played too often for us lately. He started off pretty well coming into the team, but he dropped off, and we haven't played him too often just because of formations, that sort of stuff. But it is Eder on the end of a cross, the 68th minute, but you'll notice top left hand corner, no change to the scoreline. That's because he is offside. Now, I talked about Jack Cork a bit before, and we are going to put him up, and I'll get to it later exactly what happens. But Cabral, or whatever his name is, basically it's just pace. When I signed him, I didn't really scout him too much. I saw his rating and I thought he's alright, good experience, come in, and then we ended up getting Dragovic, and he ended up just falling back into the back of the line, and also he's regressed in attributes as well. So I think he dropped an overall, so that's not very good. Another person who got an outing here was Rangel, someone who we're not really looking at, but that leads us on to transfers. And you see Montero is the first player who've got offers for, and I have no intention of selling him at all. Britain is someone, but we'll try and get as much as possible for him, and Everton are coming after him, so hopefully we can work out a deal with Everton. But the fullback positions is something I want to look at. Kyle Norton, not particularly that happy with, and I mean, the left back position, we've got a few different options. We've got Taylor, we've got Tabanu, but it's not someone that I feel really comfortable with. Centre back Ashley Williams is a rock. He's awesome, but I don't know. We've got a pretty decent side. You can tell by the league table, us in 4th. We've got a pretty good side. We're doing pretty well, pretty balanced side. But I'm just not feeling the consistency there. Like a few episodes ago, we came out, we're smashing sides. Now we've fallen back into the habit of, not getting that many shots on target and just shots off in general, that sort of stuff. So I'm not sure if it's a formation thing or if it's just my playstyle. I'm not sure at this stage. But we are pretty good in the back. But in terms of the left back and right back, it's not their defense. Defense is fine. It's them moving forward. Because I like to have the left back and right back attack as well. So just need a little bit more pace. Norton just doesn't have it, which is disappointing. And obviously I haven't mentioned so far, but Man U, a team that we beat in the start of the season. I think they beat us in a Capital One Cup game, but definitely a side who I don't have too much fear over. I mean, they're a good side, but just the fact that we beat them earlier, I was kind of feeling pretty confident, and I'd say we were outplaying them up until this point, as Kyle Norton, the one we were talking about just before, he scores an own goal, and I was a little bit surprised. I was like, why is it not celebrating properly and all that sort of stuff, and why is it showing Fabianski instead of Depay or whoever it was, because the cross was aimed at Depay. Ended up going down as a Kyle Norton own goal, which is disappointing. And like I said, it came against the run of play, which leads to Man United with a lead at Old Trafford. So at this point, it's not looking good for us at all. I mean, not having a lead, plus there's not too much long to go, and you can see here they're trying to time waste here. We've got Cabral on the ball, and obviously we're looking to sell him, but he's doing a pretty decent job so far. But we do get an opportunity here. Gomez on the counter attack. We brought him off the bench. We went for the two smallish guys up front, just trying to hope for pace to do the job, but we end up threading the ball through from Montero to AU over on the left midfield, and I was talking about AU just before, but as we see here, Darmian ends up making a crucial tackle there, and it is Man United winning. You can see there, we didn't have that many shots on target, or any shots in general, but I mean, I think we did deserve to win. Possession was pretty even, but you can see there, shots on target, they had none. They just had the one shot because, I mean, they scored off an own goal, which was really, really annoying, and yeah, it's just so disappointing to lose that game because I felt like we were the better side. We were about to stop out a little bit of a slump. I've got to say, it's like not a huge slump, but I mean, we're in fourth spot. We've had a good season, but I just felt, you know, it's about time we start kicking on and, you know, going on with it. But we had some offers of Britain, or we were just trying to negotiate the deal with Britain, trying to get him to leave to Everton. Same goes for Cabral, and see that they've decided to match Cabral's offer for 3.5 million, which I think is a profit. I mean, you got to take into account we're not going to get that whole 3.5 because it just doesn't happen. But I think we'll probably get about 3 million or so. So that's pretty decent in my eyes. But Fabianski is the subject of a lot of offers, and he will continue to get a lot of offers. Liam Britton, he's going to get a 3 million move to Everton, which is pretty good, barring that he actually accepts a contract, because as you are well aware if you've watched the series for a while, but you know, we had an offer for about 5 million, I think, in the summer transfer window, but he ended up turning down a move. I forget what team it actually was, but yeah, 5 million for him. He's 34 or something. He's pretty darn old. I was wrapped with that. I was so happy to get him gone. I had no reason to use him, and he just wouldn't leave. Jack Cork is another one who had offers in the summer as well, for about 5 million. You see he's worth 5 million, but Aston Villa offering 4.1, which I think is a bit of an insult. And this is what I talked about this briefly before. I started having second thoughts, getting offers like that, and I was thinking, is it worth really selling him? Because, you know, I sell him, and then I've got to try and find another CDM. I've got to go and scout out players, and plus we don't really have too many CDMs, and CDM isn't a position that I use all the time, but just in case, I'd love to have a player there. And Jack Cork, he's come on, he's done the job a few times, so I don't know, I was just trying to sell him just for the sake of it, rather than, you know, actually using him. Plus funds, I mean, obviously I've talked about the fullback positions being something that I want to strengthen. Fabianski looks like he's going to be moving. It says there 12.5 to 15 million, I think it was, in terms of what I could ask for, and I'm going for 20 million. There's that many clubs that are, you know, going after him. That 20 million I think is achievable to try and get for him, maybe even more, but I think 20 million will settle for that, because some sides aren't really budging to go for anything more. But you know, that opens up a whole nother can of worms as well, because, you know, now we need to get another goalkeeper. You know, there's a few people we can sign pre-contracts. There's plenty of keepers who are out there to sign on pre-contracts, but obviously won't get them to next season. Backups are okay, I suppose. We got like a 74 rated backup, but I don't know if that's good enough, if that's strong enough. Do we look for someone? Do we go from you know, inside the squad already, like I said, or do we bring someone in? I think we need to bring someone in. But moving to this last game, it's against Watford, and John Joe Shelvey bangs that one home off the post, and what a goal that was. Little John Joe scoring his second goal of the Premier League season, and we've been training him right from the start. Him and Sigurdsson, both our midfielders, been training them nearly every week, and it's sort of starting to pay off. Sigurdsson already got a fair few goals, and Shelvey, he did score a thunderbolt not long ago from a free kick, but this time it was more open play, and it was another nice little shot there. Now Courier on the ball here, another one who we've been training a fair bit up against Holebus, and gotta say, Watford, they actually beat us the first time round, so we're looking for revenge. We're out for revenge, and Sigurdsson actually scores there. I was just talking about his goal scoring ability. He's a player who I don't feel, when I'm playing with him, I don't really appreciate him, but when you come back and you edit these videos, you look through and you see everything that he does. You know, he definitely seems like a good player, so I don't know, we've been getting a lot of offers for him, and I was considering it for the right price to sell him, but I mean, it seems like a pretty dumb move, you know, in hindsight sort of thing. Obviously I've recorded way past this, so you know, I'm obviously aware of what happens after. Obviously you aren't, so you know, it'd be interesting for you to see who's actually with us by the end of this transfer window. But See there, Watford, they are a good side in this game. They're a good FIFA side, but we are just completely dominating this game. You can see AU was having fun down that wing, and this is one of the first chances Watford really had. We sort of played pretty well in terms of not getting too far upfield, like our defense and that sort of stuff, which leaves, you know, a Barbo and all that stuff to do a bit of damage. But you see right here, Gomez, he's going to take a shot, and I think it was actually deflected. I'm pretty sure it was deflected by the Watford defender there, and that's what made it cause such a weird sort of dip, and yeah, just a weird shot in general. But Correa, he takes on plays. He's beat 2 already. Can he beat the keeper? Yes, he can. Correa, he scores another goal in this game, and we're up to 3-0. So that's his 8th goal in the Premier League, and that's just absolutely amazing stuff by Correa. He's been in great form lately, and we end up winning 3-0 against Watford. So it's nice to get revenge. We did play Watford at the start of the season, so obviously things have changed since then. You know, formations, players are in and out and that sort of stuff, but I was really happy to get that win. Especially Watford, like I said, they're a pretty decent side. They're not like a top side by any means, but we seem to have no problems taking on those big sides like Manchester United, the Liverpools and that sort of stuff. The Manchester Cities, we have no problem with them. It's those sides like Watford that we struggle with. But you can see here, Cabral, he's actually completed his transfer, 3.5 million, so 3's been allocated to us. And Britain, he's made his 3 million move, which gives us 2.5 million. So a lot more stuff to work with, plenty of money to bring in some fullbacks in my opinion. So have to wait and see next episode if that's what we do. But yeah, that's been episode 9. Hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter at MrLukeNYT. Facebook page is in the description below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.